All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. We're just a bunch of Kiss fans and we talk Kiss. So come along for the ride. You've got nothing to lose.
Welcome to the KissFAQ podcast. What we have here today is the three amigos. Myself, Ken, and we got Marcus Almighty, Mark.
Greetings.
Welcome, Mark. And Lonnie St. Louis Kiss.
What's up?
How's it going, guys?
Going well.
Well, a lot of people have just switched off because they see Julian's not here, so we apologize.
Don't say that. I was trying to keep it a secret. But yeah, Julian's away. I'm not sure what he is actually doing, but I'm sure it's something fun or good. So he left it to us to handle today's mission, and the mission is the big four of Kiss albums, and we'll get to that shortly. So first of all, I guess any new purchases or deliveries for anybody? Pre-orders, anything?
Not me. I'm still waiting, just like I'm sure everyone else is, for the Anaheim thing. I did order it on color, surprisingly, but nothing yet. Waiting. I'm getting a lot of other stuff in the mail, like Zappa orders and stuff like that, but nothing Kiss wise yet.
Zappa. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, the only thing for me is I showed it, and some people may have seen the Kiss vinyl minutes, but I'm not going to open it again. But it's the yes, I received the shiny version, picture disc version of Kiss Unplugged, which is, watch the video if you want to see everything about it. But it's a nice little package. I'm happy with it. I haven't played it yet. Actually, I probably will try to play it and see how good it sounds compared to a regular black vinyl kind of pressing. Mm-hmm. We'll see how that goes. Lonnie, you have anything? Nothing?
No, nothing new this weekend, unfortunately.
Okay, well, that's all right. I guess, I think more things are coming down the road. It seems like it. We get something every month. And we also know, Rock and Roll Over is probably a safe bet to happen in the fall. So, all right. So next, news. Well, firstly, there is a Kiss-related thing, kind of. The Stanley Simmons album is a vinyl pre-order out there. So you can order their vinyl. I think the company's like Licorice Records or something like that. Anyway, interesting name for a record store or company. So Stanley Simmons vinyl pre-order. I actually pre-ordered it because I enjoyed all the different songs that they've so far put out. So I'm very interested in hearing the rest of it. So you guys interested at all?
Maybe. I don't know. It's not high on my priority list. I mean, and if it is for others, that's great, but it's not super high for me. It's fine, but it's not like I'm not drooling over it to get it.
Well, I have enjoyed the songs as well. Before I continue, a big hello to Sienna Mac, our friend who has been here a lot of times, but has disappeared for a little while and has come back. It's good to see you back, my friend, and I hope that you continue to come on and watch us on future episodes. You've been missed. Getting back to the Stanley Simmons thing, I've liked the songs. Am I going to go out and pre-order it? Probably not, mainly because some of our record stores around here, they've been actually really good with putting some of these kind of Kiss related stuff into the store. Like I've gotten like, even Walmart related stuff has come into here. They've ordered it through, other sources and brought it into their store. So I'm pretty confident that a copy or two will appear at my local record store here. So when it does come, I will definitely grab it because, like I said, I've enjoyed the songs that I've heard so far.
All right. Yeah, cool. Awesome. And to kind of reiterate Mark's comments about is it Sienna Mike? Sienna. Yeah, welcome back. I'm glad hopefully you're safe and doing okay. God, welcome the rest of the guys. Ronnie Parker.
Yes.
I mean, we have 31 in here. So Jeff Davidson, Kiss Vids, Kiss Rocks 57, Stargazer 71. There's another Marcus. Yeah, Marcus. Kiss Rocks 57. Did I say that? There's a lot of probably going to repeat some stuff though.
The Marcus was me, by the way.
Oh, is that you? Okay.
Yeah, I was just answering the question. Somebody asked if the live albums were included in the top 4, and I said yes.
Okay. All right. So welcome all. Thank you for coming and joining us live here. Okay. Now the other interesting bit of news is, and it's related to Pop House. And Pop House or Iron Maiden, let's put it that way, has sold, I think, 50% of certain parts of their rights or their
well, pretty much everything. They pretty much
I thought
publishing
I think, yeah, and the Eddie thing might be
Eddie too.
100% of that. Their mascot.
I think that's what they were mainly after.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So the deal is, I guess why or how might they use them, Iron Maiden? I guess with Eddie, yes. I guess you could have animated stuff with Eddie and other stuff and have the music stories related to the music behind, that Iron Maiden has. It could be interesting how they do that. I don't know if they're going to do anything as far as avatars. That was not mentioned at all.
This is not going. That's not what's going to happen. As far as I'm concerned, what I think, and I could be wrong, and I'm curious to hear, obviously your guys' comment as well about this, but I think what they're going to be doing mainly is that this is something that I think the Iron Maiden guys were very supportive of doing, because look, if they're coming on to the tail end of their career, a lot of these guys are already talking about, packing it in, like Dave Murray saying it might be his last tour or whatever, and stuff like that. So some of these guys, they want to have their day in the sun, go golfing and stuff like that. And so, having a big wad of money would help. But I think mainly what they're trying to do is they have a couple of plans for some big things. And to fund these things, this money is going to go, I think, directly toward it. And I think Pop House is also going to kind of help to push that. Now, what I'm really curious about is, now we've been on Pop House's back for a long time now, Poop House, calling them all kinds of stuff, how much crap they're doing. Now we're going to see really if all the stuff that we've been shooting toward them, has it been warranted or not? Because if they come in now with Iron Maiden and stuff goes really good and it's nothing but sunshine and good stuff going on, then it's going to make you start wondering, was the problem Pop House or was the problem Gene and Paul and Kiss? You know what I mean? Because we always seem to have some sort of issue with something that's done. And, those guys are not easy to work with, obviously. All right. Now, how are Iron Maiden to work with? Who knows? We'll see. We do know that Steve Harris runs a tight ship very much. So we'll see what happens. But I think that they have plans with this. And I don't think Steve Harris would let go a lot of these things lightly if he didn't have confidence that they were going to be able to work together and to pursue this one last big thing, this big push of Iron Maiden that they have going into their later years of their career.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Lonnie, what do you think?
I don't know if it's just more merchandise type. It has to be merchandise just driven.
Well,
I would imagine if Eddie is I think Eddie is the prime target. So I don't know. It's not all of it. It's basically half of it. Isn't that right?
Yeah, part of it's half.
Half of it that they purchased. So
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's like they're putting their toe in the water to see before they fully commit to this,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting though. We'll see, what becomes of it, and we'll obviously have fun comparing what Iron Maiden is doing with Pop House versus Kiss. So that'll be fun discussions for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, like I said, Eddie is the big thing for Pop House because they can put this now on everything and anything that they want now that they have the rights to it. And I'm pretty sure though Steve Harris is going to be involved in it, discussion wise, even though he can't really do anything once you give 100% of something to someone. Now you're just kind of saying, oh, I don't like that idea, and they could say, well, tough, But I think that I still have a strong suspicion that they're pushing for something else because these last couple tours and stuff that they've done have been really well done, and even before that, this is a band that started doing things like, getting their own jumbo jet done, having their pilot piloting it. They've had all kinds of interesting things that they've done that other bands hadn't done before or very rarely have done. And, I think that still there is a sort of, not an avatar, because I don't think they would ever do that, Iron Maiden, but they have a sort of avatar type-ish project in mind. Not avatars, but something of that grand scale, I think that they have in mind,
Sure.
Who knows? I don't know. I guess anything can happen. They do have, of course, Tina Turner and Cyndi Lauper, right, under Pop House also. So I don't know. You could eventually, they talk about the Kiss avatars being in Vegas, and then it'd probably be a show that happens nightly. But I don't think Kiss that is enough to keep people coming and doing that. They may have a thing where they have a different artist every night kind of thing and do an avatar show. Imagine Tina Turner going to a live Tina Turner show one night with Avatar. They don't talk about that, but that's, I think, an option.
Like a rotating cast type.
Yeah, a rotating cast kind of thing of shows. I think that would sell better than maybe just Kiss by itself.
I mean, the whole Avatar.
A thought,
The whole Avatar thing to me is, for me personally, my interest has completely dried out on this. Like, I have no interest in this Avatar thing. I mean, they've been promising it for so long. After a while, the shine has been dissipated from this thing. So I mean, I don't care if they put Tina Turner in. I don't care if they put, the Doors or whoever in with it. That I've never been interested in. They had a Dio Avatar thing going on. Even that didn't interest me in the slightest at all. I mean, I want to see real musicians, not virtual reality musicians.
Real musicians. So Kiss are not real musicians.
No, I'm saying I want to see them performing, not a bunch of holograms.
So
of course we do.
Sure. So you're talking about the avatars and Vegas, and it got me thinking that how is Kiss going to unveil the avatars when it's time? Because Paul's already said, well, we're pushing it back basically to 2028. Yeah. So are we gonna? It got me thinking. My guess or my hunch is that in November of 28 at Kiss Landlocked Vegas is how we're gonna debut them. Then I would imagine it'll be part of that package if they continue to do these. That you could see that happening in 28 in Vegas.
You mean at the 2028 one they're gonna unveil it, or this coming one?
No, 2028.
No, okay.
2028.
Yeah.
No, I thought that you meant that they might be doing some sort of an announcement about it at this coming one.
I think there'll be very little Avatar talk this November, just like Paul kind of touched on it a little bit in Indianapolis, but I don't think we'll get a tease or anything like that. No, I think they're going to hold it back and debut it to the fans that pony up for the landlocked Vegas in a couple of years. Is my guess. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be ready and they want to market it, that's the way to do it. You know, right then and there. So,
Right.
you know, who knows? We'll see. It may get delayed again another year. You know, the way it's
Right.
going. So I don't know. All right, enough with Pop House.
Enough Avatar talk.
Enough of the avatars. We don't know what's going on. They don't give us any updates or anything on that stuff. So it's kind of, again, I have a problem with that where they don't show you progress or anything really. I mean, yeah, but whatever. I guess we'll just wait and see. Okay, so to get into this week's topic here is the Big Four Kiss albums, the Big Four of Kiss albums. And it was a topic, I think, on the board originally. And then we decided to take it up. We also, after our Big Four, we're going to have a small four also to take a look at the 4 albums that are kind of the really small as compared to those Big Four that we've come up with. So, all right. First of all, I guess for each of you guys, how did you approach coming up with your Big Four of Kiss albums? You know, and was it difficult to do?
Do you want to go first, Lonnie?
Go ahead, Mark. You can go.
Oh, Mark. Okay.
Well,
go ahead,
for thank you. For me, I kind of approached it. Well, there was 2 ways you can do it. Do I look at them as what the impact they had, you know, monetarily, you know, commercially, you know, with society, whatever. But I decided to do it the other way. I picked the Big Four, like the Big Four for me, like what I think were the ones that impacted me the most as a Kiss fan, you know, growing up with the music and stuff, which are the ones that I keep going back to, the ones that I think are the strong hitters. You know, when somebody says, what kind of Kiss album should I listen to first when I get into it? Those I consider like Big Four records. So that's kind of how I approached it.
Okay, Lonnie?
Yeah, I kind of did the same. You know, I took it as like, you know, basic, you know, maybe just my favorite 4 Kiss albums, or the ones I go back to and listen to more than any others. Like if I'm in the mood to listen to Kiss, what do I grab? What do I put on? And what albums are just staples for me that, you know, turn me into the Kiss fan that I am, and just you know, that really just, you know, just punch me in the mouth when I listen to them. You know, which albums get me fired up, and which albums am I proud to be a Kiss fan because of those albums.
Okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
What about you, Ken?
For you guys, for me, well, this is.
Ken's the wild card.
I came up with 2 lists of 4.
A bunch of ties.
Well, the deal is, I'll probably go with mine, I guess, kind of myself. The other 4 are a general 4 that I think has to do with their peak popularity. All right, so but
do any of these up? Okay, so I have a question.
I'll go with my.
So I have a question about
my
your 2
own
lists.
4 though.
So I have a question about your 2 lists. What the hell is going on?
It's an alert.
It's just a tornado warning that came in.
It's just a tornado warning. That's all.
Yeah, take immediate cover in basement. Okay. Well, anyways, go on.
Basement schmate.
Hopefully, Mark's in the basement.
So, Ken, I have a question about these.
The Kiss basement.
Lists. I have a question about these 2 lists. Do any of the albums? Are there albums that are on both lists, or are these 8 albums in total? Okay.
On my two different ones, I have actually 1 album is on both.
Okay.
There are 3. So I'll go with my list. Okay, I'll do my list.
Now, hang on. Are we going to go 1 at a time each, or are we going to just? I think it might be smarter, because if we just go for all 4, this is going to be done in like 20 or 30 minutes. Right?
Well, yeah, I got Julian's 4 also.
Okay. Well, however you want to do it, go ahead.
Um,
I probably might get blown away in a couple of minutes. So
we can do one each. We'll do one at a time. Yeah, Mark,
okay.
like you said.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to go first now? Now that
Sure.
you said that, you might as well go first.
Sure.
Give us your first of the big 4 Kiss albums.
Well, I mean, I do have them in an order. Should we do them in order, or it just doesn't matter?
I have mine chronologic, so yeah.
Okay, so I'll do number 4, 4-1 for me. Okay, so number 4 for me in the list was Asylum. Everybody knows that Asylum for me it was a huge record. It is my favorite non-makeup Kiss record, especially in the summertime, like we are now. But you wouldn't know it with all this smoke and crap going on. But the summertime is usually the time this record gets played a lot in my car, in the backyard when I'm doing some, lawn cutting or gardening or something. I listen to Asylum a lot. In the car, I have it all the time. I mean, I have a CD copy, vinyl copies, just like you guys do, I'm sure, digital copies of it. This album brings me back to, obviously, when I was much younger too. So that has that advantage as well to be in the top 4. And it is one of those rare albums where they did make surprisingly a lot of videos for them compared to other albums. I mean, there's 3 videos from this album, so I mean, they had some belief in it. And more importantly, I besides all that, I kind of enjoyed those videos when I was younger. Sure, I mean, looking back on it now, a lot of them are silly, neon colored and all these weird outfits. Gene looked ridiculous, but back then, I wasn't so critical about those sorts of things. If I liked the music, that was it. I was happy and I enjoyed it. And this record, again, got played a lot. I mean, not only just the big hits, but I mean, King of the Mountain, and there's a lot of other songs that are on here as well that I think are good. Trial by Fire, and Any Way You Slice It, and stuff like that. It just reminds me of a summer album. And I think a lot of bands have that too. Van Halen, I can't help think of, summertime when I hear Van Halen too. There's lots of bands that have those kind of records as well. I'm sure that even Lonnie could probably pick out a Guns N' Roses related summertime song or album too, right? So that's one of the reasons why I picked this one as my number 4.
Okay. Well, I'm not surprised about your pick. So, what we'll do, it's not on my list, but that's fine. I mean, there's no right or wrong on it. Let's do this. I'll do Julian's 4th on his list. Okay. So we'll work our way back. I didn't think of it as an order kind of thing, but maybe we'll just do it that way anyway. So 4th on Julian's list is Asylum, just like Mark.
Not surprising.
So yeah, I mean that's an entry point for Julian. We know that. So I think it's a lot of the same feelings about that as Mark. And I think a lot of people may, would choose maybe their entry point album that they first, bought or whatever at the beginning and pick that album. So I'll just put that out there. So that's Julian's was Asylum.
Julian is on the chat too, by the way.
On his list. What?
Yeah,
come on now.
He says
he's on the chat, but he's not good enough to join. We're not good enough for him to join.
He's lurking. The lurker. That's his new.
He says his list was emotional.
Yeah, I think that's. So
well, that's because he made the list during the football game where England lost, so that's why it was very emotional for him.
Wow.
Sorry about that, Julian. I didn't mean to. Anyway, all right. Next, Lonnie, let's do your.
So my number 4 was Creatures of the Night. I absolutely love Creatures of the Night, and we all do. It's so freaking good. And I've mentioned on the show before that when I was a kid, my brother and I had our first 2 Kiss albums that we had were Destroyer and Creatures, and we played the hell out of those cassettes when we were kids. So, I can't remember not knowing every song on Creatures of the Night, basically. So I love that album. It's so well produced. The drums are so great on it, and just the musicianship on there is fantastic. They were, we talk about Creatures a lot, how they were just on a mission to put out a good rock record, and boy did they ever deliver. So I love Creatures. It's such a, Mark mentions Asylum being like a summertime album, like Creatures is like a fall time album, like a lot of Kiss albums are, but it's like it's like a Halloween almost type album type, like late fall type thing. I listen to it a lot around that time of year. It's just so damn good. So I couldn't help it. And I was debating between a couple albums and Creatures for my fourth, and I was like, no, I can't not put Creatures on it because that album's so great. So that's my number 4.
Okay. Yeah, that's a solid album, solid pick. So
Awesome pick.
Yeah, it's a good pick. All right. So my fourth, on my real list, I guess, not the one that I think is just the general.
You got to share the other list though before we're done. You got to share the other
at the end. I'll just put the other one. Okay,
because we're all curious.
All right, my number 4 is "Lick It Up." Lick It Up. I love "Lick It Up" a lot. So, and this is not necessarily, or it's chronological. So it's just there as number 4. I actually like "Lick It Up" better than "Creatures of the Night." So anyway, "Lick It Up" is another one that was, I remember the whole time period, and it was kind of weird with them taking the makeup off and all that stuff. But the album was just so good. It had to be good if they were going to prove themselves without the makeup, that they can still be as, Kiss as they need to be, rocking. And it's so heavy, that album, that I don't know, it's just a very Vinnie Vincent style album, as far as a lot of the guitar work on there. Not all the guitar work, of course, not in the first solo on there, but it's really shows his writing abilities on there. So anyway, "Look It Up." I love it. I listen to it a lot of times, so or regularly, that is. So that's my 4th. Okay, I guess Mark, your third.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say just quickly, I'm not surprised that you picked, "Lick It Up" as number 4. It's always been a strong record for you. I know that. I'm just surprised that it wasn't higher up. I thought honestly it would have been a bit higher up, considering how much you love it.
There's no. I mean, again, that's really not an order. It's just chronological. So I'm just working my way back.
Okay. Well, mine is in order. Number 3.
That's fine.
Here that I picked. Number 3 for me is, I'm going to be going down the same path as my good friend Lonnie. Number 3 is "Creatures of the Night" for me. Creatures, again, I mean, I can echo a lot of what Lonnie said. Fantastic sounding record, extremely strong songwriting. You could tell even just the way the vocal delivery was, that they, it was kind of a do or die record for them. They had to really put their all into it. And you can tell some of Gene's best vocals. Paul's singing is fantastic on here. I think Eric Carr, they really, focused on that drum sound, give him a huge, gigantic drum sound. I mean, I don't think they ever did after this search out a studio just basically to make sure their drum sound, that fantastic. So obviously they were on a mission with this record. And a lot of these songs on here are ones that I remember wanting me to pick up my guitar and sit down and learn some of these songs, and it's fun. Like to me, when an album does that to me, where I can pick up a guitar, sit down for an hour or two, and just jam along to it, it has me invested into it that much. It's got to be a really strong record, and the "Creatures of the Night" definitely is. Everything from that front cover, which is so iconic. I mean, that album cover can stand out in a record store. You put it in the biggest record store on a shelf somewhere, and it'll immediately jump out. You'll see it from far away. And I think that was another brilliant part of it, which is why I was always kind of surprised that they changed, the album cover. I know that they brought in Bruce, so maybe it was that part of the reason, but I don't think it's nearly as strong a cover, obviously. But that album cover is great. The back, the whole way they did the whole design of it was sort of interesting as well. But I love the purple in it. That's what I think stands out, of the purple and the black. And I think that another thing that Lonnie brought up that was interesting and definitely true is that it definitely makes you think to Halloween and that sort of late fall feeling to it. I mean, when the ghouls come out, and even I remember even like hearing people saying that oh, Creatures of the Night is the record I pull out on Devil's Night, which is like the night before Halloween, right? But I mean, it has that such a close connection to that time. It's amazing, So yeah, I like that record. 9 songs, not a one of them, in my opinion, are weak. I think they're all really well written, and I think that they really stepped up a notch or two from their prior records before that.
You guys talk about the fall or Halloween thing kind of thing with it, and you guys didn't even get it when it came out. Back in the day. I actually got it during that time period, when it came out. So I probably feel that more than you guys.
For sure. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'm just, thinking about that.
Music has that impact on you.
Yeah, it does. It does. All right, Lonnie, what's your...
Well, it's Julian. It's Julian's.
No,
Julian. That's right. Yeah, sorry, Julian.
Julian going to get PO'd.
Well, Julian, okay. So Julian, his third on his list is Creatures of the Night.
Wow.
So that's another one. That's crazy. So Creatures of the Night from Julian. He really likes that album, obviously. Probably for all the same reasons that Mark does, and Lonnie, and actually myself. So that's that.
A lot of love for Creatures. That's good.
All right. So Lonnie, now we can go to your third, right?
Actually, wait. Julian put a comment there really quick if you want to put it there before you get to Lonnie.
Let's get it up here.
Just the power of Creatures came across, but seeing the cobalt blue of that cover was a wow. Yeah, exactly. Like I was.
It is a great cover. Yeah. I mean, one of the best covers that they ever put out. So,
absolutely,
absolutely. Okay.
So, since Ken said that live albums could be included in this,
of course.
My number 3 is Alive. And that might be people might think that's low because, Alive is so great. And, but but the top 2, and it'll be easy to figure out what my top 2 are. But
I know the number 1.
Alive, right. Alive, so great. I mean, come on. I think I had double platinum pretty early. And then before I had Alive, I had double platinum. So I knew a lot of the songs on Alive. And then I got it. And just, listening to it for the first time and hearing those songs, perform the way they're meant to, and hearing those sound the way they're supposed to sound, just blew me away. And it still does to this day. And I really liked getting those, the Dress to Kill and Alive box sets last fall, and hearing more of the same, and those shows that went into the making of Alive. And if I'm really just in the mood for just some Kiss music, that it's such a go-to and such an easy pick. If I just want to listen to Kiss sound the way it's supposed to. You guys, everybody knows I run quite a bit, and it's a great album to listen to, and I run because it's just gets you fired up listening to it. So, and I love music like that gets me fired up, and it's good to exercise too. So I listen to Alive quite a bit. So, just fantastic. Obviously, and it's one of the big reasons why we're all here is because of that album. So,
that's right.
That's my number 3 is Alive.
So Lonnie, I got a question. You're talking.
I'm not taking questions today. No, I'm kidding.
the running that you do, like you're marathoning and preparing for that. Do you find that Alive is one of the better records, mainly because of the length of it as well. It keeps you motivated for longer time.
For sure. So like if I go on a long run, I try to pick like a live album that's gonna, carry me through or something like that. Or so I'm going on like a super long run. Well, then I got to have like a playlist because I don't, sometimes there's not an album long enough. But like if I'm going on like an hour or so run, like a live is like great for that. So or just a live record is great for that, like without ballads or anything like that mixed up.
Yeah.
I just something crossed to my mind. Like I was like, oh yeah, Mark goes on a walk to God of Thunder from Destroyer or something. Anyway, okay.
It's like a pissed off walk of Mark walking to Destroyer.
Bob Ezrin.
Damn him.
All right. My third is, hey, guess what? Creatures of the Night.
Wow, there you go.
More Creatures left.
So of course I picked it because I love both Creatures of the Night. Look it up. To me, they're sister albums. They're very similar in a lot of ways, though they are different. And Creatures of the Night was just, when I got that Creatures of the Night a couple of days before it was released, because I knew a guy at the record store, and he gave me the album. And I put it on, and I was like, wow. That was it. Kiss was back. To me, Kiss was back, even though it didn't sell anything. And that's why, Mark was talking about the other cover of Creatures of the Night. They're just trying to sell more copies because it never sold initially very well. And they wanted to, and they weren't going to put another makeup cover out while they're in their non-makeup period. So they took that, those photos and with Bruce and all, and put that on there. So anyway, that album is just so great. I love it. It's a big deal for them, even though, again, it didn't do well, unfortunately, because a lot of the people have already discarded Kiss or left Kiss's army at that point. After going through, maybe the solo albums through the Elder, kind of thing, people dropped off. Okay, next, Mark, for your number 2.
Okay, so this one, excuse me, this one is one that I don't know if people would be surprised or not surprised about the pick, but I'll get through the reasoning for it. My number 2 is Kiss, the debut record. Now, the reason why I picked that one is, one of the main things about that record, it's such a strong record. I mean, lots of people have said it's almost like a greatest hits record right off the bat on your debut, because a lot of those songs are played constantly and have been played throughout their long career. I mean, what night haven't they played Cold Gin, or haven't played Deuce or stuff like that? A lot of those songs are just staples of the catalog, and they're all very strong songs. And that album, they had a long time to write it. They always say you have you have your whole life to write your first record, and then 6 months to write your second. So all the strong material is usually on the first record a lot of the times, because you've been working on it so long. A lot of the times the record label is basing their signing you on the material that you're going to hand in on your first record. So it better be damn good, right? So it makes total sense that it's going to be a very strong record. Yes, it's sonically, it isn't the greatest sounding record, but it isn't the worst one either. And this record has a more personal thing to me as well, because when I got back into vinyl collecting, this was the one record that I found extremely interesting collecting, because they had the whole Warner Brothers era of collecting, when they had the looking for the Warner Brothers pressings, and then the first Casablanca ones, and then they had the white label promo. No other Kiss record had a white label promo after that, right?
Except for the first originals.
Yeah, okay, but I mean like a studio record, They didn't have any
studio
other
record,
one like that. So that was a fascinating thing to try to hunt down as well.
Yeah.
And then you had the one that didn't have the Kissing Time on it, and the one that did. So there's a lot of
There's a lot
memories
of variants
to trying to get all these different variations to it. So it's a very strong memory for me in getting this record because of those things. And of course, the music I enjoy too. And it was another record again where, I pulled out the guitar and tried to figure out songs like Deuce and Cold Gin and Strutter and all these. I mean, just naming it off. I mean, geez, that whole record really, it's pretty much like songs they've been playing for the last 50 years in concert. So I really do enjoy this record. Yeah, there are better versions of the songs on here, but this will always be ranking very high because of that whole memory of trying to collect these pressings and listening to different versions of it. Those songs got just imprinted in my brain.
Yep. I don't disagree with you. I mean, that's such a great, first album with all those songs that were concert staples. So, it's
agreed. It's not on my list, but it was hard to leave it off.
Yeah, it's not on my list either. But I thought about it, but then I reasoned for other stuff, as we'll get to. Okay, so who's next? Julian. Julian's next. All right, Julian. Julian's next pick is Rock and Roll Over.
Oh, there you go.
That's not surprising.
And I think it's his favorite album. As I think. So
yeah, I think it is.
And a lot of people's favorite album. I think it's not on. Well, I want to say, actually, never mind. We'll go back to that.
It's on one list, but not the other.
It may be on one of my lists.
It's on one of the 4 lists I have.
Maybe, 4 lists. That's right. There's 4 lists. I got let's see, 5 lists of 4. That's 20 albums.
There's 4 lists, and they encompass most all the albums.
Yeah, exactly. You can't miss all of them. No.
Julian is putting Rock and Roll Over #1 album. Was there a error there?
No, he probably
just didn't put them in order.
He did his chronologically like I did. So that's where we're working our way back. So, but he's saying, yes, Rock and Roll Over is his favorite album.
Okay.
So, okay. So, yeah, good pick. I don't disagree with that. I love the album. It's probably my favorite album too, I think. So, there you have it. All right, Lonnie.
All right. My number 2 is Destroyer. I love Destroyer, and Mark and I have had our qualms back and forth over the years about Destroyer. But Destroyer is my entry point, and that's why it's so
that's a wow, man.
It's so important to me because it's Detroit Rock City is probably the first Kiss song I ever heard, and I was probably hooked from the very beginning. And I mean, I talked about Creatures earlier, wearing out that tape. We really wore out that Destroyer tape to the point where it couldn't be played at all anymore. I think my brother still has it. I don't have it. I think he has it. I hope he has it. But yeah, so I love Destroyer start to finish. I know not everyone on this panel does, but but I certainly do. But I certainly do. And like the first time I saw Kiss, they played 6 of the 9 songs off Destroyer, and I couldn't have been happier that they played so many off of that album. So it's such an important album for Kiss, and it's such an important album for me. And I think it's really cool. It's really cool the way Kiss is celebrating Destroyer all year this year for the 50th anniversary. They've like really are just celebrating it all year. But I also think it's kind of a shame that they don't even mention that it's the 50th anniversary of Rock and Roll Over. And hopefully,
they won't.
Hopefully that's going to change.
They will.
Hopefully that's going to change here in the coming months, and Rock and Roll Over is going to get the love it deserves.
Probably September.
Yeah, hopefully that's on the way. But for me, Destroyer is it's a masterpiece from start to finish. So that's why it's my number 2. And anybody who watches the show is going to know what my number 1 is. But we'll get to that later.
It's also Mark's number 2, but that's a different 2.
It's a different kind of number 2 for Mark.
Well, I'll just say this: I mean, I understand though. I understand.
I'm in a
the
good
love.
mood today. Come on, Mark. It's fine.
I understand people's love of it, and I understand where it comes from, and that's great. I mean, I'm not gonna diss people's choices on that. If you love it, that's great.
There you go. Okay. All right. So who was next? Oh, is it me?
You're number 2.
It's me.
Oh,
All right.
Where's Dragger pulled a Ken with his destroyer?
Yeah, he played side 2 first.
Yeah.
I mean,
Played
it's
side
like,
2 first. Is like Ken playing Charisma first on Dynasty.
exactly. I know. It's like
Nice.
kind of funny. I'm not the only one that does that, you know. Okay. So my number 2 is Alive 2 on my list. So Alive 2 is a big deal for me. My entry point, my first Kiss album that I bought. Plus, the deal is on this is it kind of culminates those 3 albums that were, you know, before it. Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, kind of the best songs or hit songs, or whatever you want to call, from those albums. And live songs for Kiss are usually the better versions of the songs in a lot of cases. Though Rock and Roll Over, I think, is the perfect production for Kiss, but it's just the perfect songs for those 3 albums without having to choose those 3 albums and put those on my list. I use Alive 2, and that does it for me. Plus, you get the little bit of there's some couple of stellar songs on the 4th side of that, which I enjoy, which should have been probably on an album instead of, side 4, when you talk about Larger Than Life and, All American Man and Rocket Ride. Those 3 songs should have been on a regular album and not a 4th side, because they're kind of forgotten about a lot of times. So yeah, Alive 2 is huge for me, and it's always going to be on my list. So that's that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Mark,
My number 1.
Number 1. Here it is. Oh boy, here we go.
So number 1 for me is not going to be a surprise. I've said this numerous times on this show or this podcast that this has been my favorite record and always will be, and that's Rock and Roll Over. Now, that has many things attached to it. Not only do I think it is the best representation of Kiss sonically, musically, songwriting-wise. I remember hearing that interview that they did with Kiss shortly before they put out Rock and Roll Over, in some hotel room, and Gene was talking about how, they went back to their roots and they understand that the fans were shocked with Destroyer, blah, 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 blah. But the thing with that album is that there's been very many high moments in my life with this record. I mean, I remember telling a story a few times on here where I went with one of my bands to Portugal, to the Azore Islands, to play a festival gig, and they let us stay at this house, beautiful house by the ocean, and they had all these Portuguese records in their turntable set there at this house, and the only ones that were English that I knew was Deep Purple's Made in Japan and Kiss Rock and Roll Over. So those 2 records were played to death. So not only did it help solidify my love of this record, but I also remember later on, I went on tour in Europe when I was in Pile Driver. When we crossed the border from Germany into Austria, we Kiss Rock and Roll Over came on our system that we were listening to, and that will always be a big moment for me, seeing the Alps and all that stuff and listening to Rock and Roll Over. So this album has an unfair advantage because of all these situations and stuff that happened to it, besides the fact that I think it's such a great record and has some of the best playing that's on there. I mean, so Ace's best guitar solos are on this record. Calling Dr. Love, I mean, I think that's his standout solo of his career, and that's on that record. I mean, there's so many great songs on here. I mean, we have a great Peter Criss song on here as well. The only thing that's missing from this record to make it an absolute complete stellar song would have been to have an Ace song on here for him singing,
Yeah.
that would have made it, I think, the proper record. But again, there's so many things that are attached to me from this, whether it's, like I said, touring and stuff like that, even like lots of other stuff around there as well. Like, but going to visit my sister just after she had her child. Ironically, I was listening to Kiss in the car. It was a big moment, of being an uncle, and stuff like that. So that's why this record has such an unfair advantage, I think. And then, of course, that album cover. I mean, how many times have you seen that album cover on T-shirts and slip mats and all kinds of stuff? I mean, it's just a strong record in every way, shape, or form that you can think of.
Yep, I agree. It's just an awesome album. That's why a lot of our, it's a lot of our favorite. It's our favorite album. So, yeah, I think Kiss was on their kind of on their game after they felt, oh shoot, they kind of panicked, like we got to make a good rockin' album. And I think the environment where they recorded it in like a theater, right, live, was the perfect way to do it. I think they never went back to that kind of a thing.
It's the one studio record that really captures their sound.
Closest to a live sound, right?
Of the classic Six albums, it certainly is.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go to Julian's last number one album on his list, that is, which is Alive. And
there you go.
Not surprised at all with that pick. I think that's obviously a great pick. Great album. It's known as one of their most important albums, obviously, along with, Destroyer and a couple others. But a great pick by Julian. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
So, Lonnie, you're number one.
My number one, I can't have a top 4 Kiss album list without having Revenge in there. So it's obviously Revenge for me. No big shocker to anybody. I mean, I talked about being a kid and having Destroyer and Creatures, but like when Revenge came out, it just put me over the top as a Kiss fan. So, I mean, I know people talk about the songs on Revenge, and maybe people aren't as big of fans of some of the Paul material on there, but for me, I think it's great from start to finish, and I love the sound. You guys are talking about Rock and Roll Over, and how great Kiss sounds on Rock and Roll Over. Well, I love the way they sound on Revenge too. I think Revenge has such raw and hard driving energy to it. Same way Rock and Roll Over did in the 70s. I think Revenge's sound and the songs are just great for me, and they just resonate with me like nothing else. So Julian chimes in with his thoughts at Lonnie A's making about Revenge. So big shocker, that's my number one on my list. So Ken, what's your number one?
Okay. my number one is Alive. It's Alive, just like Julian, I think, and I think Mark had it on his list too. You guys, or both of you, have it on your list?
I don't have Alive on mine, no.
Oh, you don't? You have it on yours? No. Okay. Because again, it's the perfect album for all those songs that were on the first 3 albums. The first 3 albums weren't produced the greatest, especially, I guess, Hotter Than Hell. But all 3 of them weren't not the greatest production as far as what Kiss should sound like. So Alive is the perfect form for those songs, how they should sound. That's how they should have sounded on those first 3 records, instead of the way they ended up, unfortunately. There's like the plotting of Firehouse and Cold Gin and that kind of stuff. It was just it was, a better upper tempo on Alive, and they sounded, great there. So yeah, it's the perfect way to hear those songs. That's why Alive is so great, and that's why Alive did so well, I think, because the music, when people bought that album, yeah, you had some pictures of Kiss and stuff, but it was about the music. It's still about the music, because that's what you're getting. You weren't at a show, but you could kind of imagine it, what a show might be like if you hadn't seen Kiss. With the bombastic, the bombs going off and all that kind of stuff, and the crowd noise and all that. But it's basically those songs had to stand up live, for you to enjoy it and for it to sell. So I think it's a great album. Anyway, that's on my list.
So what about the comments that are being left here, both by myself and Julian, saying that we both thought that Alive 2 would have been your number one?
It's no particular order. That was chronological. So Alive 2 probably is my number one, Julian, because that is the first album I did buy. I was just going chronologic, because I had Alive,
Just to make it more confusing.
Alive 2, Creatures of the Night, look it up. So
Okay.
if I really put mine in order, it would probably be Alive 2, and then Alive, and then Look It Up, and then Creatures of the Night fourth.
Fair.
There you go.
I think that's what I would do. But, that's what I would do today. So that's the 4. Now, let's go through the quick list here, because we're running almost a full show here.
Let's just run through the bottom.
Ramble off your small, we're calling the small 4 of Kiss albums.
So when you say small 4, are you saying like, what do we think are the worst 4, or
worst 4, least,
or just your least favorite,
least significant, whatever?
Okay, so my least 4 are as follows: Psycho Circus as number 4, Carnival of Souls number 3, Crazy Nights number 2, and Elder number 1.
Oh God. Okay.
Just horrendous. Anyway.
So say that again, Mark. Carnival say that again.
Psycho Circus.
Okay.
Carnival of Souls, Crazy Nights, and Elder.
Okay.
All right.
That's not bad. Yeah. I don't agree with Carnival, but other than that,
yeah, I don't agree with the Elder, but that's fine. All right, Lonnie, what's your
Julian's small 4? He's next.
He didn't have a small 4.
He didn't submit a small 4.
He didn't submit it, so
fair enough.
We don't.
So
know.
My small 4 are Unmasked. It's too poppy for me. Sorry. The Elder, just because I never just pick up a Kiss album and go, oh, you know what? I'm in the mood for a Kiss. I'm going to listen to the Elder. I just don't. Sorry.
Amen.
Okay.
Monster. I'm sorry, it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not. And Hot in the Shade.
Oh, there you go.
Shade. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Those picks to a degree, yes. All right, my small 4 is Carnival of Souls, Psycho Circus, Sonic Boom, and Monster. I picked the last 4 albums that they put out.
No love for the later Kiss.
Yeah, I think it's because, Carnival of Souls, it's yet good, but it's not the direction that I want to hear them sounding like on that. And then the downer side of Paul's, it's like you want uplifting, you don't want downer songs, that sort of thing. Psycho Circus, because of just the lies and all that. Yeah, the lies and all that stuff. They're trying to pull one over on us all. So that one. Sonic Boom, though, it's enjoyable. I enjoy it, but I think it's just too forced to try to sound like 70s and 80s kind of sound. Well, they're trying to do 70s, but a lot of it sounded more like 80s too.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of too forced. And then Monster, it's just them trying to not sound like Kiss, trying to sound like their heroes, their influences, and that sort of thing. I just didn't get it. Plus the mastering of it is just not good. So just the way it is. Whatever. The last four. So
Julian did put his there.
Okay, Julian, where is it?
Right there where it says Smalls. It's right after Cinemac and before Drago. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Carnival of Souls. Julian says, who's Smalls are Carnival of Souls, Crazy Nights, Psycho Circus, and Symphony. Ooh, I didn't even think about Symphony. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Carnival of Souls.
You know his hatred for that one, especially the video.
I thought Julian liked Crazy Nights, but anyway, that's interesting. But yeah, we're hoping for a box set of that one day.
Ooh, that's down the line though, I think.
And a remaster kind of thing.
Of Crazy Nights?
Remaster, remix kind of thing. Oh, that's what we hope will happen one day.
I don't know who hopes that, but
that's down the line.
I do, and that's unreleased stuff too for that. Okay, so I guess the last real quick thing is my other list, which I think is, to me, it should be definitive like this, but it was just for me. I just based it on their, height of their powers kind of thing. That time period where they were the greatest thing in the 70s at that time. So the four albums I put on the list are Alive, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, and Love Gun. Those four, they're all in succession. I think those are the big four.
Maybe their most important Kiss albums.
At the time, they were at their peak. And that's at least peak as far as, I guess, popularity and, still writing good songs at that time period, too. And, of course, Alive is the big album that pushed them over the top right at the beginning. And then followed by those three successful albums afterwards. And then it went to, solo albums and other stuff. So that's how that came out. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining and listening to this episode, and with putting your comments on your top four, even Julian's top four. Yeah, well.
Even Julian.
Thank you, Julian.
Even.
Just giving him a bad time.
Throw him a bone, even Julian.
Even Julian for his top four and small four, or whatever you want to call it. But thanks for joining. It was a good show. We had a lot of similarities on certain albums, but I think it's a variety. Everyone's different. Everyone likes their own thing, and that's all good, of course. So, all right, we're gonna wrap it up, and hopefully we'll see you next Saturday. And I hope Julian's back, so I don't have to.
So does everybody else.
I know they do. Wow. I know you're right. You're right, especially me. Lonnie. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the message board and discuss the topics we've broadcast today. Don't forget to hit subscribe wherever you've listened to this show, and a like would very much be appreciated. We hope you'll join us again, but until then, remember, life's a radio. Turn it up to 10.